Tucker sits down with Sam Altman. They're having a conversation together. Tucker, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, turns the interview into very, very serious but fair question of what happened to one of Sam Altman's former employees, and here's what happened.
So you had complaints from one programmer who said you guys are basically stealing people's stuff and not paying them, and then he wound up murdered. What was that?
Also a great tragedy. He committed suicide.
Do you think he committed suicide?
I really do.
Have you looked?
This was like a friend of mine. This is like a guy that, and not a close friend, but this is someone that worked at OpenAI for a very long time. I was really shaken by this tragedy. I spent a lot of time trying to, read everything I could, as I'm sure you and others did too, about what happened. It looks like a suicide to me.
Why does it look like a suicide?
It was a gun he had purchased. It was this is like gruesome to talk about, but I read the whole medical record. Does it not look like one to you?
No, he was definitely murdered, I think. There were signs of a struggle, of course. Surveillance camera, the wires had been cut. He had just ordered takeout food, come back from a vacation with his friends on Catalina Island. No indication at all that he was suicidal. No note and no behavior. He had just spoken to a family member on the phone. And then he's found dead with blood in multiple rooms. So that's impossible. Seems really obvious he was murdered. Have you talked to the authorities about it?
I have not talked to the authorities about it.
And his mother claims he was murdered on your orders.
Do you believe that?
I'm asking.
You just said it, so do you believe that?
I think that it is worth looking into. And if a guy comes out and accuses your company of committing crimes, I have no idea if that's true or not, of course, and then is found killed and there are signs of a struggle, I don't think it's worth dismissing it. I don't think we should say, well, he killed himself when there's no evidence that the guy was depressed at all.
Okay. I've been trying to do.
Can you do me a favor, Rob? You know the facts of this story. Can you? Because we've had the family on. You want to kind of share with the audience who they're talking about?
Yes, his name was Suchir Balaji. He was an OpenAI researcher, worked for the company for a long time, was quickly rising up within the company, but started bringing up issues of copyright and the issues that the AI software was running into regarding that copyright. And then all of a sudden, he went to Catalina Island, just like Sam Altman and Tucker talked about. Went to Catalina Island with his friends for a weekend, comes back, is in a great mood. We interviewed and spoke with his parents. Both of them said they talked to him when he came back. He had no signs of suicidal ideation or anything like that. And then the next thing you know, they find him dead inside of his home. Like Tucker mentioned, camera wires cut, very odd blood stains all over the apartment. When you look at the footage from inside the apartment, which the family provided us, when you look around the footage, it looks like it's a crime scene. There's things all over the place.
Yep.
And yet they ruled that this death was a suicide.
Yeah.
What did the authorities say?
Which is
suicide.
It's a suicide, which even gets
did they
even
justify-
Adam. It's almost the same, bro. With Mark Middleton, who was hanging from a tree with an extension cord. They couldn't find the shotgun, and the police, the detective said it's suicide, as if people are all paid off and they're all in on it. And I absolutely love. Listen, say what you want. People hate Tucker. Remember that list I was talking about, where Charlie's on and that we're on. Tucker's up there. You know why? He's asking questions. Love him or hate him. He wants to know the truth, okay? And I don't know how everybody else feels. Seeing Sam Altman's body language and the way his energy was coming off, something seems a little off. And if this was a movie, and I heard everything that Tucker just said, and I heard everything that Rob just basically explained, and I saw the podcast with a crying mother who believes that her son was murdered, if it was a movie, guess what? I would say, just like in the movie Michael Clayton with George Clooney, this huge billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company, when somebody is talking and somebody's opening their mouth, it's not that hard, guys. It's not that hard to have somebody that's on payroll, but in a secret way, to go and kill somebody and make it look like it was a suicide. And in this case, they did a horrible, horrible job. OpenAI is worth what? $500 billion? And you have somebody internally saying, guys, they're stealing, and it could be a potential lawsuit to destroy your company. It's not that hard. Guys, it's not flesh and blood. It's evil, and evil just goes. By the way, even if I'm not accusing anybody at OpenAI of doing anything, but you think it's that hard when these people give orders, when Bush or any of these people say go and kill, it's not as if they're killing. Go drop bombs on Iraq, weapons of mass destruction. They're not signing it off. None of these people do it. They just say, hey, a decision needs to be made. Go do it, if they're even involved. So it's like, I watched the podcast just to see all the stuff that was in there. There's no way you could convince me that he killed himself, Adam. Zero. There's zero for me. You know, you say 100%. He was 100% murdered. Plain and simple.
In your opinion?
In my opinion,
Tom.
yes.
So this, you look at it with common sense, and you say to yourself, how is it possible for this to happen in the face of all this? Because you can have conclusion-based evidence. Someone makes a conclusion and gives it to you, and you accept the conclusion. Or you just look at simple facts that have all been laid out, and I won't repeat them here, and you're saying, this is a suicide. Really? I mean, this is like Vince Foster and all the inconsistency. They never found the bullet. The gun, fact. That's a fact, not a conclusion.
Fact.
The gun was on the wrong side, and so for his last act, he committed suicide, apparently, as they say, with the wrong hand. You know what? I've been right-handed all my life, but to call this one off, I'm going to shoot myself in my left, or whatever it was. And you see those things, and you see it called suicide. That's why now, Pat, we have the word suicided in our lexicon. That go look at the origin of the word suicided. He got suicided. Yeah. And now and why do we start talking that way? Why do we use that word? It's because the public and the fair-minded news media looks at it with such disdain and said, well, I guess he got suicided. Suicided means, regardless of what it says, some medical examiner will sign a piece of paper, paid off, instructed, pick the word you like, and it's a suicide. And that appears here. Then you go to, okay, so one simple question. Who influenced the head of the law enforcement responsible for investigating jurisdiction? There's one person in that jurisdiction responsible for investigating homicides, and suicide is a homicide. There's one person responsible for signing off on the medical examiner report. So if you have two people that are paid off or told, that's all you need. And then everybody else is told, keep your job, your mouth stays shut. It's so simple. Mm-hmm. It's so simple. But, this looks like this kid was suicided.
If this was a movie, Tom, if this was a movie, you would know who the bad guy was. You know what I mean? There's no questioning it.
I don't know what happened in this situation, but I do want to address Tucker Carlson for a second, or sometimes what I'd like to call him Two-Face Tucker. Where's this energy when you're interviewing American foes? You feel very comfortable pushing the Ted Cruzes of the world and the Sam Altmans of the world, people who are Americans and love America. Where's this energy when you're interviewing Putin, buddy? Where's this interview when you're interviewing Putin's right-hand man, Sergei Lavrov? Where's this energy, even a speck of it, Two-Face Tucker, when you're interviewing the president of Iran, Pezeshkian? Give me a little bit of that energy, Tucker. I'm just asking questions. So save me the moral virtue signaling, hey, I'm just asking questions, and use it with people who actually hate America. Cool, great. Ask tough questions to people who you have differences with. Great. But keep that energy when you're interviewing America's enemies. That's my thoughts on Two-Face Tucker.
If you at all at this point are feeling angry and you relate to guys like Vinny, when we call Vinny, or Tom calls Vinny the angry patriot, and that stuck since that day till today, and you're in that community as well, you may want to go to vtmerch.com and place an order on Angry Patriot. We're going to put the link below, Rob, on the Angry Patriot, the hats, the shirts. There's a bunch of gear there. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.